guys, Miss Charlie here with my Shop My Stash or my progress from February and what I will be using for the month of March. We have here what I used in the month of March, and we'll see my progress and any rollovers. There are going to be quite a few rollovers into March, so we'll go ahead and get started on that. For my face primer, I used the Sune Hemp Dreams Oil Mist. You have to shake it up. This was a really nice mist. I got this from Dollar Tree. Very nice, very light, hydrating. I did not use this to set down my powders because it's an oil. I didn't want to put on my base products and then put this on and the oil broke everything up. So what I did was I used my setting spray to set my powders and then also used it at the end to spray it again to set down everything else. But this was really nice, hydrating, especially right now with it being winter. We're still technically in winter, even though today it's a pretty nice day. It's not cold. Our snow is gone from all that nonsense that we had a few weeks back. The snow is gone, but over the weekend it was really, really cold, and now it's trying to warm up. But technically we are still in winter, so I still need that hydration. And then I use this Kokie Refresh Hydrating Setting Spray. There's not much in here. I'm going to pour this into the bottle that I will be using for March so I can get this used up. So this will be out of the collection. For face primers, I had this Dominique Blur Moisture Serum Primer. I didn't really use this that much, and it's okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. I'm going to bring something else in. I mean, it's all right, but it's not anything to write home about. It was all right, but I mostly were focusing on this Dr. Brent Luminizer Primer. I really like this, trying to get it out of my collection. There's not much left in there, so I'm trying my best to get rid of it. So this will be rolling over into March, and then if I do get it done in March, I will pull in another one. So for my lip treatment, I have the e.l.f. This is the Lip Exfoliator in Brown Sugar. This is how much I have left, not much at all. So I'm going to try to get her done by the end of March, because I do use a lip scrub every time I do my makeup. And even when I don't do my makeup, if my lips are feeling dry, I will use this. And then the Beauty Impressions Squalene Hydrating Lip Balm. Doesn't say the flavor, but it's like a berry. When it comes out, it's like a little swirl of colors. Smells like berry. It's fine. It works. But I use this quite a lot because I use it not only before I do my makeup. Anytime my lips are dry, I pull in a lip balm. But those were my lip treatments for the month of February. For my foundation, I brought in this Maybelline Superstay in Warm Soul. This came in a stick, and I scraped out what was left and put it in here. As you can see, it is gone. And I mixed it with this Almay, what is this called again? Oh, it's at the top. Almay Smart Shade Skin Tone Matching Makeup in Deep Like Me. It was getting, I was like, there's not a lot in here because it was hard to squeeze out. Well, I put it in this container. There's quite a bit in there. You're like, what is that? It looks gray, but it looks gray, but it's supposed to match your skin tone, and this does match me pretty well. It is rather cool though. That little tiny bit. It matched me pretty good there. So I just put it in here to make it easier for me to get out. For brows, I forgot to mention in my last month's video that I was bringing in the Precisely My Brow Pencil in number 5 from Benefit. This is like a deluxe sample size. This is so tiny. Can't hardly see that, can you? That's all that's left. So I'm going to roll this over into March to get that used up. And then I'm also going to roll over the Revlon Superstay Brow Pencil in dark brown. Has a spoolie on the end. This I did use a couple times, but I was focusing on that other one because I want to get it used up. This is a nice creamy, not too waxy brow pencil, and then this one is just really precise. So I'm going to use this one up, and then I'm going to roll this one over, and then still using my little Franken powder for my brows. For my moisturizer and eye cream, using the LMS Peptide Eye Recovery Cream, because I used up that Dr. Botanicals and I brought this in. This is also a really nice eye cream. I like LMS products. It seems like there's not a lot in there. I'm trying to keep it set up like this so I can get it all out, but I think there's still quite a lot left in there. I might have to cut it open and put it in a smaller container. And then the Glow Recipe Banana Souffle. The top broke, so I took it out so it wouldn't dry out and put it in this container. You can get these at Dollar Tree. You can use these. These are like condiment containers, but I like these for that type of stuff, and you just put it in there and it's ready to go. So those were my moisturizer and my eye cream. Also for brows, forgot to mention, using the Brow Lamination Gel Set from Be Pure. This stuff is like glue. It looks like glue when you put it on. And there's the brush. You only need a little bit. I've heard some people say it's hard to get off. They don't like it because it's hard to get off. You don't need that much. What I do is I comb a little bit through my hairs, and then I take a disposable spoolie. I have like a pack of 100 I got from Temu for like $2. And then comb this through. After you put a little bit of this through on your brows, don't keep putting it on, because I've seen people put it on and they just keep combing and keep combing it. No, just put a nice little layer, go in with a dry spoolie and comb it through, and it sets and it's done. And it comes right off when I wash my face, and I use a makeup removing oil or a makeup removing balm. It comes right off. I have no problem with getting it off. It doesn't gunk up my brows. I don't have a lot of brow hairs, but the ones I do, they're thick, and it doesn't gunk them up. So try that if you have used this and you find that it's hard to remove. Don't use that much. Just put a little bit on and then go in with a dry spoolie and just comb it through your brows and you're good. For powders, I'm going to roll these over into March, and then if I use them up, I will bring in another powder. But I'm using the Urban Decay Velvetizer. This is a mix-in medium that you can put into your foundations. If you have a foundation that's too light coverage or too medium, you can add a little bit of this in there to give it a little bit more full coverage. But what I've been using it for is for under eyes, because it is a very finely milled powder and it sets the under eyes perfectly. They don't make this anymore. If you find this at your TJ Maxx, grab it, because I did. This one was the original one that I got in a BoxyCharm, and then I found one at TJ Maxx. I have a backup of it, and this is just a small size. It came in a bigger size, but I'm glad I have this, and I don't have much left in here. So I want to go ahead and use it up, show you how much is in here without getting it everywhere. Okay, so I took that out, and that's all that's left in there. It's not much, and I'm just using it for under eyes. So if I don't get it used up in March, it might roll over into April. And then I have the Cab. This is their translucent powder. There's not a lot in here either. There's not a lot in here either. I'm not going to open that one up because it's a little bit more messy. And then I have the Milani Translucent and Medium to Deep. I had a couple of these. I found these at Dollar Tree. I have a backup of this, and there is like hardly anything in here. So what I've been doing is just mixing these two together. So that's what I'm going to do. Ooh, there it goes. That's all that's left in there. This I will use up in March, no doubt. And you can see the lighter color because I've mixed some in there. I'm gonna just mix some more in there, and this will be my setting powder for the month of March, and it will be used up and out of here. For concealers, I use the ColourPop Pretty Fresh. This is dirty because I took the stopper off. They do get a little bit dirtier when you take the stopper out. But this is a nice cool tone shade for me. This is in the color medium dark. This works great for me. There's still quite a bit in there. Can't see the bottom. There's still a lot in there. And then the Maybelline Fit Me. This is in the color Caramel. This is a little bit warmer, so I'm mixing these two together. Made a beautiful concealer. For bronzer, highlight, and contour, I used this contouring palette from Wet n Wild. I don't use the banana powder because it is too yellow for me. I use this. I've been using this as a bronzer. Been trying to work this through and get this out of my collection. We did some good progress on it, but she's going to be in another project pan, and I hopefully want to get this done by the end of 26. This is the Cover FX Perfector Face Palette in Medium Deep. Cover FX is no longer. I had a couple of their products, really enjoyed them. This is one of them. I use this as my contour. As you can see, we have hit pan. See that pan in there? We see that hit that pan. Yeah, I got hit that pan. I use this for contour. This for blush. It's a beautiful cool tone blush. This finishing powder is not a finishing powder for my skin tone, so I used it as a blush. So I had a warm tone and a cool tone blush. And then I had a cool tone and then a mid-tone and a warm tone highlight. These are gorgeous. I can't believe I haven't hit pan on this because this has such a big dent in it. This, I dropped it and this broke, and then this just shattered and I pressed it back in. But since then I have hit pan several times. I've hit it over here in this corner, and then you can see those. Yes, it's so nice to hit pan, especially on something that you've had for a long time. So yes, this was my highlight, contour, and bronzer for February. Then we have the mascaras, liners, and eye primer. Still using the Polite Society. Yes, it's getting dirty. She's getting used. This is a beautiful mascara. Reminds me of the Bad Girl Bang, which I do have a backup of. But I'm still using this. It's working just fine. Heavy packaging, bougie packaging. It reminds me of the Bad Girl Bang wand. And it clicks when it closes. And then it has raised, the name on it is raised as well as the top. And it's heavy. Still using the Lash and Roll from e.l.f. Love this mascara. I will consider getting a backup. I love the wand on it. It lengthens and keeps my lashes curled. I love it. For the eyeshadow primer, the Ioni, I use this again. It's working just fine. I think I'm going to roll it over, I think. Let me look. Am I rolling it over? No. I've used it for 2 months, so I'm going to use something else, but it is just a clear eye primer you can get at the Dollar Tree. When I first used it, it did not work well with the LA Girl powder shadows, but any looks that I did this month, I used this and it worked just fine. And there's not a lot in here. This is mostly air. So when you get it, you're like, oh, that's gonna be a lot. No, look. And nothing's coming out. So that's how much, that's flat. So there's hardly anything in here, but it's $1.25. But it'll get you where you need to be. Still working on this Wet n Wild Color Icon Baby Got Black. She will be used up next month for sure. And then this Hard Candy one, still have this much left. I'm trying to get that used up. That's going to roll over. And then the Essence Super Precise Eyeliner. This is one of my favorite eyeliners because it is so tiny and so precise. I love it. I've gone through a couple of these. And then the Chula liquid liner in black. I love this one too. I think I'm going to keep this in. I'm not for sure. What do I have over here? I'm going to keep these two in, and I'm going to add a black liner in March, because these two I'm going to try to get done as soon as possible so we can go move on to something else. All right, so you saw my progress in the rollovers from February to March, and now we're going to go into this basket to see other products that I'll be using in the month of March. For March, for my lips, I'm going to be using this Grown Alchemist Hydra Restore Lip Balm. I have not opened it. She is still sealed, and it's one of those where it has the little thing right here where you have to puncture it. Let's see what she's about. She smells like candy. I want to eat her. Let's see. It smells and tastes like candy. I like Grown Alchemist. I have their moisturizer, and I like that their stuff comes in the old-fashioned aluminum containers. I like these. That's how old school medicinal stuff came in these metal or aluminum containers. I love it. So yeah, she's gonna get a lot of use. I like her. She's not too thick. The BH Paradise Set Hydrating Setting Spray. Said I was going to take this and pour it in to get this used up. Get this out of the collection. Pour that in there. And then we measure where she's at. Let's see where she's at. Okay, so she is right here when she was down here before I poured that in, so we start right there. This is a nice setting spray. I got this at TJ Maxx. Get some BH Cosmetics items at TJ Maxx every now and again. I haven't been to a TJ Maxx in months. I need to head out that way, see what's going on. But this is a nice hydrating setting spray, so right there, we can get that down to here in the month of March. The Mario Badescu facial spray in aloe, chamomile, and lavender. I used I think it was, I forget which one I used last month, but I have a 4-pack. I bought a 4-pack of these at TJ Maxx the last time I was there. So I'm going to bring out the lavender one. I've gone through probably 6 or 7 of the full size of the lavender. I love this facial spray. For brows, I am bringing in eyeliner. This is eyeliner. This is the LA Colors eyeliner pencil. Got this at Dollar Tree. I think I got this at Dollar Tree. No, I got this on Shop Miss A. And it comes with a sharpener. And this is what she looks like. Just a regular black pencil. So if I get those other 2 used up, I have one to bring in. For a brow gel, I'm bringing in this Cheekbone Brow Gel. It's named Cheekbone, but you don't use this on your cheeks. You use this on your brows. And it's just a clear brow gel. I got this in an Ipsy Boxy Charm. Just a little clear brow gel. Smells like alcohol, which all of them smell like. So we're going to have this in March. For foundation, I'm bringing in the Revlon Illuminate Serum Tint in Ginger Root. This was a gift from influencer to try out. This is a little bit of a red undertone, so I'll have to cool it off. But it's very sheer, so if you like no makeup or you like really light coverage, this is something that might interest you. And I'm going to mix it with the L'Oreal True Match in N5.5 Super Blendable Foundation. It has a pump. We are down to here, and I have already mixed it in my little container here with my LA Colors Mixing Pigment in Blue. I've already mixed it, so this will give me a month's worth of use, and then if I need to mix any more, I will, but that's my foundation. For bronzer, blush, and blah, 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 blah. For bronzer, blush, and highlight, I'm bringing in the Ciate Brazilian Glow Face Palette. Yep. And this is nice for travel. It has 3 eyeshadows, 2 blushes, a highlight, and a contour. I'm going to use this for contour. I'm going to use this highlight. It's a rosy toned, cool toned highlight. And then these 2 blushes I can mix together because this one over here is a little sheer. So that's gonna be my cool toned blush. And then I could use those eyeshadows if I want to. And then in this little Sephora Z palette, I have this orange. This is from the Tammy Revolution collection from years ago. And this is a beautiful orange. I think it's called Queen's Tropical Queen. It's a beautiful orange. Oops, dropping things on the floor. And then these 2 are from Ulta. Many, many, many moons ago. I don't know if Ulta still sells them. The little train cases where it has like eyeshadow, eye products, brow stuff, blush, highlight, all that stuff in a little train case. I still have the train case because I travel with it. It's perfect for traveling. And I took all the other stuff out of it. A lot of the stuff I didn't use, like the eyeshadows were not that great. It had brow creams and it had like liquid, like gel liquid liners in it. Those were okay, but it's not something that I was using back in the day. But I kept the bronzer and I kept the highlighter. They were in bigger pans, so I depotted them and put them in here. They did not have names on them. This is just a nice bronzer that I use. I've used it for years, and I just use it to blend out my contour, and it's nice and finely milled. And then this did not have a, nope, it did not have a name on it, but this is a beautiful warm toned highlight. And it's very, very subtle. Sometimes you just want a little bit of something. You don't want a lot. Very pretty. So I'm going to use those. And then this. And then for my eye primer, because everything else is rolling over, for my eye primer, I'm using the YC Collection. I love this, as you can see. She is down there. I might have to cut her open. And it is clear. It comes out a little skin toned, but it just turns to clear. And this stuff is awesome. This stuff is awesome, awesome, awesome. I love this stuff. I would repurchase it if I see it in the drop boxes. I will pick up another one, but I might have to cut her open to get the rest of her out, but you only need a little bit. One of my favorite eye primers. Then I have my concealers. This is the Simply Ageless by Be Pure. They're a hydrating serum concealer. I've gone through one of these already. This has some weight to it. I like this coverage. It is a lighter coverage. If you don't want something, that's lighter, you might want this. But as a person who is of mature skin, I am 57. You don't want to put a lot of cakey stuff under your eyes. Nope. And this is a nice thin formula. And for $1.25, it blends in nicely. And then I'm going to pair that with the JOA Wand Me Up concealer in the color Tan. I have this in Cafe. I did have this in a project pan a few months ago in the color Cafe, but I bought Tan, and this is also very nice, very light, medium coverage. This one is a little bit more on the warmer side, so mixing these together will be a perfect duo. And then we have the brushes I'll be using for the month of March. I'm going to start including the brushes, the face brushes that I use, because I usually switch those out every month. My eye brushes, I'm going to keep these, and I've been using these for the past couple months. I'm going to keep using these, and then in March, for April, I'm going to switch them out, and I'll tell you which ones I'm going to use, because I have a lot of eye brushes. But I switch out my face brushes every month, and also my sponge. I was using this sponge, sorry, it is cruddy, but she's going in the trash anyway. This was from Beauty Bakery. I have a set of theirs. It comes in a little egg carton. It's so cute, and they're individually wrapped, which I liked for sanitation purposes. But I've been using her for the past 6 months, and she's getting cracked, so she's out of here. So I brought in this one from Be Pure. This is their silver infused sponge. I've used one of these before. It's really nice. I like it. So this one is coming into play for the month of March. Still using my Singe Beauty FO2, which I use for concealer. It's nice and it's dense and it's perfect for concealer. We'll continue to use that for concealer. For my, let me see, make sure I figure out what I'm doing here, because sometimes I change my mind what I'm going to use the brushes for. This is a Real Techniques dupe. This is one that I got from eBay many years ago and still have it, and it's so soft. It looks just like a Real Techniques. This one I will be using for bronzer. For contour, I'm going to be using this Real Techniques dupe. Looks just like one. I've got this from eBay years ago, and again, it's still going. Beautiful. I'm going to use this for contour. For blush, I'm going to use this. This is from Glamour Dolls. Had this for a long time. It reminds me of Betsy Jones. Betsy Jones? You know who I'm talking about. It reminds me of her. So I'm going to use this brush for my blush. I have this BOD HB07 brush. This must have been something I got in a BoxyCharm. This one I'm going to use as like a powder brush. I put a little bit of powder on it, so then if I need to powder under my eyes or whatnot, you know, when I'm doing my makeup, if I need to go in with a little bit more powder, I always put a little bit more on here so I don't have to dip back. I don't have to open it up or anything like that. There's powder already on it, and then I can just go in and press under my eye to set any creases or anything like that. I always have a brush like that. And then the Singe Beauty FO4. This one, no, never mind. This is my highlighter brush. This is the one I'm going to use for my powder brush. See, I mixed myself up. This is going to be for my highlighter. And this one is going to be for my powdering under my eyes. Put a little powder on it and I set it aside. So again, I don't have to keep opening up my powder. And then I can just go in and, you know, and just powder under my eyes if I need to. So, see, I told you I get things mixed up. But these were the brushes that I will be using, face brushes, that I will be using in the month of March. All right, so that's my progress from February and what I'll be using for the month of March in my Project Pan. Let me know if you do Project Pan. I would love to watch your video. I love watching those. If you've used any of these products or have any suggestions, please let me know. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Thank you for taking the time. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe here on YouTube and on Instagram. And we'll see you in the next video.